Hello everyone. The topic of today's video is Botox in masseter to treat masticatory muscle pain. So let's get started. So before we get into the depth of this video, let me make it clear that you can consider Botox in masseter for orofacial pain only when you are absolutely sure that the source and the site of pain both are the masseter muscle itself. Now masseter can have referred pain from the temporomandibular joint. So if your temporomandibular joint is involved with any of the intracapsular disorders like the disc derangement disorders or the inflammatory disorders or the structural incompatibilities of articular surfaces or even acute trauma, then masseter may be involved secondarily due to referred pain. Masseter may also be the site of referred pain in case of cervical muscle pain. Cervical muscles are a common sites of trigger points. These trigger points, when stimulated, radiate or refer pain to areas above them. Masseter can be a common site of such a referred pain. So you have to be sure that this pain in the masseter muscle is not coming from other sources like temporomandibular joint or cervical muscles, or there are many other areas. Now, if you're sure that the site and source of pain both are masseter muscle, then you have to look into the causes of this muscle pain. There can be few causes of primary muscle pain in the masseter region. The first of which is muscle hyperactivity secondary to chronic stress or due to CR-MIP discrepancy. The muscle pain can also be secondary to primary bruxism, which has central causes, or bruxism secondary to stress or secondary to certain drug uses. Masticatory muscle pain may also exist because of myospasm. What I mean to say is, if the muscle pain is due to other causes, treat the causes and get relief. Botox should be the last option and should be considered only when you have concluded that it is a primary muscle problem and it is due to bruxism due to central causes or a primary muscle hyperactivity that has no other cause apparently. Another very important thing to understand is that Botox is a symptomatic treatment. It is not a curative treatment, and Botox is a reversible treatment, usually lasting for 4 to 6 months at a time. And these pain-free periods get shorter after every time of injection. It is also a very costly treatment. So go for Botox only when the patient is not getting relief with any of the other modalities that you have already tried. So what is Botox? Botox is a neurotoxin. It causes presynaptic blockade of release of acetylcholine at the motor end plates. The result is a muscle that is paralyzed. In simple terms, neurotoxin Botox causes paralysis of the muscle in which it is injected. When it is injected in a large muscle like masseter in therapeutic doses, it doesn't paralyze the whole muscle. It actually decreases the intensity and the frequency of contractions. So that is why the benefit that you see in bruxism is a reduction in the intensity and the frequency of contractions, which brings in the muscle pain relief that the patient experiences. Yeah, I know, everybody knows that. But do you know Botox has some other therapeutic effects also? Besides paralyzing the muscles, it has central nervous system effects on the brainstem and dorsal root ganglia. It has blockade effect on the parasympathetic nervous system. It also helps in resolving secondary hyperalgesia or neurogenic inflammation. Interesting? Because of all these effects, it is used not only to treat muscle pain disorders like secondary to bruxism, but it is also used to treat dystonias, which are repeated myospasms, tension-type headaches, migraines, trigeminal neuralgia, where the injection is given in the trigger point zone, and trigger point headaches as a definitive treatment. The thing that you have to do is to mark the muscle. This is by asking the patient to clench and release, clench and release. You have to mark the anterior border and the posterior border of the muscle while the patient does this activity. Also mark a horizontal line from the mid-tragus to the outer portion of the lips or the commissure. Try to palpate the masseter muscle below this line. This is a relatively safe zone to inject the Botox. Now, patient may indicate that the pain is in the body of the masseter above or below this line. When it is below this line, it's very good to go ahead, palpate the area and inject 20 units of Botox on either side. If the patient is very young and is concerned about the aesthetics, since after the Botox injection, the site of injection will look a little thinner. And if the patient is not very much concerned about the aesthetics or is very old, then you can use the injection on the affected side only. But if the patient indicates the area of pain to be above this line, then be a little cautious, because a number of facial muscles that lift the corner of the lips while we are smiling are inserted into fascia in that area. So injecting in that area might be a little risky. It may cause a smile that looks asymmetric on the patient's face if it is injected on one side. Even if you don't inject above that line and you still inject below that line on in the masseter muscle, even when the patient complains of pain in the body of the masseter in higher region, then also it works, because this is a neurotoxin that will paralyze a large group of fibers. On an average, use 25 to 40 units depending upon the duration of pain relief that you want on the affected side. It will typically take 1 to 2 weeks for the effect to kick in if you're using Botox, the original Botox. And the effect will last for around 4 to 6 months, after which you will have to maybe inject the muscle again. We tend to develop resistance to Botox, and that is why every time the dose of Botox that will be needed to produce the same effect will be higher and the duration of relief will be shorter. All these things should be communicated to the patient well before you start the treatment. Related side effects like drooping of the corners of the lips or sometimes facial asymmetry should all be communicated to the patient before starting the treatment, and the risks and the benefits have to be weighed by them properly before you do any of such procedures. So if you're suffering from orofacial pain since a long time, and if you want a correct diagnosis and a permanent treatment, do reach out to us. We have a couple of treatment modalities for you.